Hey there, guys. Connie Foote here with Foote Title Group. How are you today? I am always trying to come up with some information that may help you with some real estate issues you may be struggling with, and periodically we come across information or things that happen in our office and in our environment that we definitely want to share with you. Good morning, my friend, Miss Pam. So a lot of times I have content that I already have created that is sort of my backup, but when we go through certain experiences here in the office, those are things that I think, gosh, that may be some information that maybe we could share with you. So yesterday during our staff meeting, we were all talking, and thank you. I love that you're on with me all the time. So yesterday in our staff meeting, all of our team gets together and we talk about things that are coming up, things that are going on, things that they're experiencing. And one of the things we started talking about, as a lot of you know, our website is full of resources and we try to put information out there that's always helpful for you to be able to go grab information when you're working on looking at property, looking to buy a piece of property, looking to sell property. There's a lot of resources on there. And one of the new things we're talking about is some of the weird things we come across when you're buying a piece of property and how some of these neighborhoods have some of these different things. Hey, Alan, how are you? You got to go get the coffee and you drink it while we're sitting here talking. That's what it's all about. So one of the things we talked about yesterday was some of the weird nuances you may experience in certain neighborhoods if you're buying a piece of property in a certain neighborhood. And what do I mean by that? Well, one of the things we talked about yesterday is from our Virginia office, there's a couple of neighborhoods there that have something called a right of first refusal. And what that means is when a purchaser, a potential purchaser, goes in and wants to purchase a piece of property that a seller has for sale, before the seller can sell it to that purchaser, once the purchaser makes an offer, the seller has to go to a particular person, and it's listed in the title documents who that is. And typically it's usually the person or the company that originally sold the properties when it was developed. But they have to go to that person and explain, hey, I've got a contract for sale on my property. You have the right to decide to purchase it before this purchaser could purchase it, before anyone else. So that's their right of first refusal. They have the right to review that information and determine if they want to buy it instead of the purchaser. And a lot of people, well, developers did this a lot more frequently much earlier on. It isn't as common now, but a lot of developers did that because they were in areas where they developed a piece of property that they were really liked the area, the neighborhood. Maybe they even had property in that neighborhood, and they wanted to make sure that if certain properties came available, that they had the opportunity to purchase that themselves and keep it within the property that they owned in the neighborhood where they lived. So some of the rules with that are, though, if that original developer or that person, it may be an individual person, has that right of first refusal, they can offer to purchase that property, and they have the right to purchase it before anyone else, but they have to purchase it at the same exact terms. So you as the seller would not lose anything, other than it makes it a little bit complicated through the steps when you're offering your property for sale and a purchaser comes in with a valid contract. That contract has to be reviewed by the person that has that right of first refusal and the ability to review and potentially purchase that property. So your purchasers need to know going in that that's a potential, that even though they put a contract on a property and they may be the first contract on that property, then there's still maybe an opportunity for the person that was the developer or the person who has that recorded right to take that over. So some of the other, that's a little bit odd, and we don't see that very often, but we're putting a new section on our website on the resources page that is specifically identifying weird nuances in neighborhoods that have specific requirements. So that way you'll be able to go in. As some of you may know, we have a homeowners association guide on there for both the Maryland properties and the Virginia properties that we are constantly updating, that will give you the contact information for the homeowners association potentially in a neighborhood that you're purchasing in, or if you're a seller, or if you're a realtor, so you can actually go look up that information. So we're going to do a new section in that same area on the resources page that are neighborhoods that have unusual requirements. So a right of first refusal, because what will happen is that right is extended to every single piece in that neighborhood when that person established that right when they originally developed those lots. So it will be anybody who purchases through that for any length of time, specifically is delineated in that recorded document that says how long it would last, but typically it's for as long as that person is alive or that company is in existence, that they would have that right. So we're going to start adding that information to our webpage, so you have that ability. If you're going to look at a piece of property, you're looking to sell a piece of property, then you'll be able to go on and grab that information if that's one of them. There's also some neighborhoods that have, and there's a couple of those neighborhoods in Maryland as well that we've come across, so those are going to be added. It just happened to come up in our staff meeting and we started talking about it, and you know, as we like to always provide information, we wanted to get that up there, and so that's how the conversation started. There's also some neighborhoods that we've run across that have specific water and sewer requirements. Maybe in the Homeowners Association guide, there are certain neighborhoods that have specific nuances about not only homeowners association fees, but also road fees or water tap fees or some of those kind of things. I know in some of the neighborhoods that we've experienced in Charles County, there is a couple over on the western side of the county that actually have special water requirements, and there's a special fee that the owner of the property pays to a water company every year to manage the water access. And it's not like most other properties in the county where they just deal with the county water system or have a well and septic. This is a totally separate entity that actually manages a water system. I know there's a couple of publicly run private well systems within certain communities too. I used to actually live in one of these in Maryland where there was a well system that serviced the whole neighborhood, and that a specific company actually managed that well system. Now some of those have been taken over by the county and public sewer and water has been put in, but I know there's still a couple of those. So make sure when you are selling a piece of property that any of those kind of unusual things that are going on with your property, and it may be something you just don't think about, that you just pay a bill once a year and you don't think about, oh wow, you know, that's something that I need to disclose. Particularly in Maryland, it's becoming a really hot topic when there are water and sewer charges that is something that you pay once a year to a specific company or maybe to in your property taxes. Those are specific things that you need to be able to disclose to the potential new purchasers. So you need to make sure your realtor is aware of any of those unusual things you pay or you deal with in your particular neighborhood, so when you go to sell that property, the buyer has all the information they need to make a proper decision. And the right of first refusal is part of it. If you have a special water system, that you have to pay a separate fee or a separate setup every year to be able to do that, even if you have a water system through the county. Like I know, for example, in a couple of water area properties that are located locally close on the water, there are some special sewer systems that go through the county, but there's a separate fee and a separate setup that they have to do. So as a seller, you want to make sure that that potential purchaser knows everything there is to know about that property, because although you want to capture everybody and you want everybody to come make the best offer on your property, you also want to make sure that when somebody makes an offer on your property that you're going to be going to closing and everybody's happy and it goes through the way it's supposed to and you don't have any ramifications later. And as the purchaser, you want to make sure that you understand all the details there is to know about that property. And unfortunately, if we don't give the realtors or the party on the other side all the information necessary, they can't make the proper decision. So as I said, as we come across some of these things, we have a couple of different areas that we're going to include them. They're going to be included in the Homeowners Association guide. Good morning, Michelle. Thanks for tuning in, girl. How are you today? We're going to make sure that that information's in the Homeowners Association guide on the resources page, but we're also going to make sure that it is included in a separate section that has neighborhoods that have special requirements. So it'll make it a little bit easier. You can actually search through there and click through and find out the information that we know. The other thing is our information is only as good as people share with us. So we may not be doing a closing in a particular neighborhood and something may change in that neighborhood that we don't know about. So if you have some of that information, you happen to be selling a piece of property or buying a piece of property and you're in the Homeowners Association guide and you're looking up that property and you realize that the information we have isn't the most up to date. Our information relies specifically on you and on the information that we experience as we're going through preparing your closings. So please share with us any of that information that maybe isn't fully complete on our website as we continue to build this information, because the resources are only as good as the most up-to-date information as we can get, and a lot of times that's information that comes from you. So if you're experiencing that, or you know a particular area that has a particular unusual requirement, share it with us. We'd really appreciate it, and that helps us get the best information out there for everybody. Good morning, Ernie. How are you today? Thanks for tuning in. So what I try to do is, like I said, prepare you guys with information and load you up with whatever you need, buying and selling, or if you're a realtor and you're looking for some resources and information, there's lots of that on our website. As I've said before, there's a home buyer's guide, there's a home seller's guide, there's also a planning your move checklist. There is all kinds of information about if you're new to the area, different information you'll need. Contact information for services is on there. We also have a really exciting piece that's getting ready to launch in January that I'm really excited about, so stay tuned about that you'll be able to grab digitally or get a physical version of a resource that's really going to be helpful to people new moving into the communities that we do closings for in Maryland and in Virginia. So and also on our resources page is a sample documents book. So I want you guys, if you're going to be doing a closing and you're buying a piece of property, go on there and download that resource. It's not the exact documents you'd be signing at your closing, but it's about 50 of the most common documents you will see. There may be a little bit different when you come to closing, but it'll give you an idea of what you're dealing with. There's so much going on at the closing when you're sitting here with all of the different people and everybody's talking about things about the house, and you're going to be also expected to go through the loan documents, which some of them can be a little overwhelming. So we just want to give you as much resources as we can, so by the time you get to the closing table, it's fun, it's easy, you're excited, you're signing your paperwork, and you're getting those keys and getting ready to move into that dream home you've worked so hard to buy. So hopefully that information helped you understand some of the weird things that we see at the closing table, and as always, every single one of our team members are here to help you answer any questions that you have. Both Maryland and Virginia team members are well versed on both areas and can help you with all of that. So you can email any of them, call, message us on Facebook. We would love to have you. Also, if you are tuning in, please share this information. Sharing is caring, and if you care about the people that you are friends with on Facebook, they may be people that need some of this information, and it would be helpful to them, and I can't get to them because they're people that you know. So share, invite people to like our Foote Title Group Facebook page, because that information is on there as well, and I really appreciate your time this morning. Hope you guys have an awesome Thursday and starting to get excited about the Christmas season and getting ready for that. So I look forward to talking to you again soon. I'm Connie Foote with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much.